during all these months of war, I have been tracking the galactic portals, and you cannot make this up. Like, really, you cannot. Like, when there were the Orion portals, like, the situation was so bad. Like, we were again in this polarity, in these Orion wars. And now that there is the Lyran portals, also the situation is not really good. So, you cannot make this up. Even when there was the Columba portal, which is the dove, which is related with peace, for example, that was some of these peace things was signed up. So as we are in this Lyran season, Lyran astrological portal, right now, as I am recording this video, as I am sharing this video as well, I wanna talk about the Eramatina, which is Lyran's from this highest dimension, the original Fall of Lyra, and how that relates with the war that has been happening and I have been experiencing, and what I have learned from that. And also I want to talk about why sometimes we, especially when we are in this going through this kundalini awakening journey, sometimes we choose very challenging situations, very challenging incarnations, very challenging experiences. And also I want to talk about that, especially as I live in Iran, and a lot of people think or ask, like, why are you there? You could live in another country, maybe. You could have left the country, you could have avoided some of the attacks and the problems and so on. So I wanna share a lot. This is like advanced topic, kind of. So please stay with me. My name is Valeria, and in this channel we talk about spirituality and esoterics. And I know probably a lot of you that follow this channel, you are very advanced souls. Probably a lot of you resonate a lot with the Lyra and with the Lyran incarnation. So this is very important for you, because the Lyran incarnation is all about healing the inner separation, healing the wound of the original fall, the original separation, and working with the root chakra and the crown, this connection with the source, to be honest. It's like coming back home, okay? And this is like the wound of people that resonate a lot with Lyra, like feeling homeless and so on. And a lot of people also have physical issues that reflect that as well. So this video is very important. And if you know some galactic history, maybe you know that Lyra is, and this is something that everyone pretty much agrees on, and me too. So which is that Lyra was like the original divine blueprint, like this highest dimension, like 12th dimension, for example, in the system of 12 dimensions. So Lyra was the super highest unified beings, specifically Eramatina, which is a star system that you can check on your natal chart. I can check that in the astrological readings. So and they are the emerald order. They are very connected with emerald color, okay? And notice that I am recording this video under this portal because I want to purify some energy for the collective, so and for myself as well. So they were in unity consciousness, blah blah blah. But some events happen, and different galactic histories explain this a little bit different. But the point is that there started to be some issues between different Lyrans, between the Lyrans from Vega and the Lyrans from Shiliak, and then that separation started to be reflected outside, and that is why we have these stories of the Lyran Wars and the destruction of stargates, the destruction of Stargate 12 or the Eramatina star system. And then we have stories of Lyrans migrating to other star systems and feeling homeless and all of that. And that is why they represent like the original blueprint in a way. And we are recreating on Earth all that happens in higher planes. So they started to enter this inner separation, and they started to drop their consciousness, and the attacks happened, the wars happened, destruction happened, okay? And that is something that is happening right now on Earth. Maybe a lot of you are not directly affected like I am, for example, but is something that is running in the collective grids, okay? And this also affects our daily life. So I think this work is so important for everyone. A lot of people, clients that I have seen with Lyran placements and with this pain, this original wound of separation from source, inner separation, a lot of them have a lot of problems with health, especially with the legs, the root chakra, with finances, with home, with the country, like those kind of issues. So this affects your day-to-day harmony as well, okay? So this is important for you. So I want to share also about why we choose these difficult experiences sometimes, and how to work with this, how to understand. So if this is like your last lifetime on Earth, if you resonate with that, this means that in this life you have to it's like everything you have experienced in other lives, in this life, you have to come into peace with that. You have to find a resolution for that, okay? And you have to find liberation from that, acceptance. And for that to really, really, really happen, you have to re-experience the same events. Your experiences need to trigger in you the very same trauma, the very same memories. Your cellular memory needs to be activated in the exact same way, and this is so important. This is why we make choices when we are in this path of ascension that reflect something that we experienced in a past life. And it triggers us so much and so deeply, because that is the idea, because it's going to the exact wound, to the exact pain, is inflicting the very, very same exact pain, exact imprint of something that you experienced and you didn't find resolution or peace in that life. So for example, imagine you were someone who had a romantic connection in a past life, and that didn't work, and maybe you were so bad and you tried to kill yourself in that life or something, and maybe you died suddenly, or you didn't have the tools and you couldn't find peace and resolution about that. Then in this life, if it's your last life, you will have to find a resolution. So you're going to create an experience that triggers the exact wound, maybe probably with another person, with another soul, this time, but the person is going to act the same way the other person did. They are going to trigger your same pains, your same insecurities. You're going to be triggered to feel the same way you were feeling when you tried to kill yourself, for example. You're going to be triggered in the exact way, and in this life you have to overcome that impulse and alchemize that, and that is why sometimes it's very difficult when you start this kundalini awakening, this ascension journey. A lot of things are activated, and you can experience something that for other people looks so small, so tiny, but you are very, very triggered, and maybe you are crying a lot, for example, and they don't understand why you are so triggered for something that, I don't know, maybe you just break up and they are like, oh, just move on. But you're so triggered, you're so sad, so depressed, you don't want to leave, and it's because that breakup with this guy that you met for 2 weeks maybe triggered the exact wounds that triggered you in the past life, and you are not only grieving this current life pain, this guy that you met for 2 weeks. No, you are grieving, the pain of the past life, maybe more past lives, maybe your family. You are grieving everything that has triggered that pain in all timelines, in all the versions of yourself. That is why you should take seriously your triggers and how you feel, and to find harmony on that, okay? So, when we make choices, always our higher self and God, they know what will happen, okay? It's not like if we are following God's guidance, it's not like we make mistakes. They know the exact places, people, situations, the path that are going to trigger exactly what needs to be triggered, okay? That is also the role of a lot of soul contracts, because again, our cellular memory is holding into trauma, fears, experiences, and they need to be released in this life. This is your life for consummation if you are, again, in this kundalini awakening journey. You have to find resolution, integration, and liberation of all the parts that have been not in harmony. And this is so helpful to understand that you are not a victim, okay? You can grieve, okay? But you are not a victim because you chose this specific path. You chose, to be born in this place with this karmic family, maybe. Because we try to stimulate the same things that we experienced in the past that were not resolved. And again, we will make conscious choices that will try to mimic those experiences. You will have this intense reaction to some things. Okay, and also I have to mention war quickly because I noticed this so clearly in myself, and because this relates with Lyra a lot. And again, so a lot of people could think like, oh, why did you go there? Why you were there when there was war? If you are so psychic, maybe you could have avoided that. But how important has been this experience for me and for my soul, and the liberation of my soul. Of course I needed this experience because I had this trauma like in a very big way, and this is trauma that some starseeds are carrying. It's like being, if you were in Lyra, like if you're a very, very old soul, it's like being in your heaven, in this union, this unity consciousness, and losing that heaven, losing your home, dying with a entire collective and civilization, the nuclear disasters on the grids, all of that. That trigger there are specific traumas, fears, unresolved memories. And for example, for myself, this experience has triggered all of that. and I was able to see that and let go of that and find some resolutions around that. Okay, so ideally in this life we have better endings, we understand. And I want to talk about the fall of Lyra, the fall of Eramatina, the original separation from source, and finding a resolution over that. Again, this is so important, especially for starseeds. So again, imagine you are in this planet or in this star system, and it's like your home, is your most soul-aligned place. And there are beings and things and experiences that are super soul-aligned. So you consider this your home. And imagine it is destroyed by something that looks like external forces. You feel like a victim. And you have to go and migrate to another star system. For example, in galactic history, some Lyrans migrated to, I don't know, Hadar, Andromeda. But that new place was not 100% soul aligned. It was a little like a down, almost fallen, not fallen in a bad sense, but it was like some grounded version of that, of what your heaven was. And that pain was stored in your heart chakra, the physical point in your chest. Because of course this is the wound and the pain of separation, abandonment, inner separation. For example, if you are a twin soul, one of the wounds is the wound of abandonment is in the heart chakra. Okay, and also is separation from God and everything. So that migration in galactic history to other star systems and to lower dimensions, losing the home, was an expression or a physical expression of a spiritual fall, because everything that happens in the external reality is because it is happening in the inner realities first. So for example, the Lyrans, the collective in Aramatina, the Emerald Order, they experienced a separation consciousness. They were separated from home, from the soul. And if your consciousness is a match with that specific planet, with those specific codes, when you heal the inner separation, it means that that planet has to exist again. Even if it was destroyed, in a way it will appear again. Okay, it's going to be repaired, or you will find another replica which fulfills your exact soul desires and needs and soul codes. And this is why, for example, if you read galactic history, we often hear that some stargates were destroyed, then were repaired, then were destroyed again, then repaired again, because you and the collective, you are healing the inner separation, then you enter separation again, then you are in union, and you have to reflect, that has to be reflected back. Okay, but it's also a collective thing, and this is important. Okay, and so when you have events like war, it's like the collective is re-experiencing something traumatic. Okay, and a lot of people are called to integrate that and to face again that fear. And also I have been doing a lot of this inner work in these months, and I noticed some changes when I do this work about what is happening in the collective with the attacks and all of that. Of course, it's also a collective thing, but this kind of work has an effect in our life and in the collective. Especially when we are kundalini awakened, we can affect the collective a lot. Okay. So again, you when you know that you need to work with a specific trigger, you choose the experiences that will allow you to do so, okay? It's not like, for example, I was like, oh, having some good experiences, and suddenly the attacks happened, and and my soul didn't plan that. It's not like that. It's more like, for example, my soul knew what was going to happen, like the attacks, and was planning to use these triggers and this situation for me to find more integration and more balance. Um, and I am just using this example that maybe is a little bit intense, but because really, war really is so difficult. And if you can understand this, you can apply this to whatever situation you are in, basically. Um, and it's something that not a lot of people, like in the spiritual community, has experienced in this life, actually. So I think you can learn from this experience, at least. It might be interesting for you. This is like an initiation for people interested in the Middle Eastern codes. And when you are working with this inner union and healing the original from Lyra, Fall from Lyra, when we do this work, we are not like playing around. We are not reading some soap opera. This is real work. This really, really affects us, especially if we are starseeds. And this will reflect some things back in our life. Everything that goes like bad or inharmonic in our lives is because there is inner separation in that area. If you have health issues, there is inner separation. If you have money issues, if you have relationship issues, if you cannot give life to your purpose, your creations, all of that is wounds, separation, disharmony. You need to bring the harmony again, and that is real, is a frequency. And doing this work, especially under the astrological portals, doing the work, receiving the codes associated with that portal, doing the work that relates with that portal from what you know, maybe from history, galactic history, mythology, whatever you resonate with, and you translate that into your body and your experiences and your memories and your current life and your current challenges, you really can make a lot of progress, like very, very fast. And this is, portals are meant to help us make progress like 3 times faster, at least 3 times faster than we would without the portal. So a lot of things come up for you to, integrate that and find resolution and so on. So all of this can be understood from stars and from the understanding also our charts and so on. So if you resonate with this work, we are going to be working with Lyra and with another star systems from the galactic rose frequency, because the rose help us to alchemize everything from the stars into something that is pure and harmonic for this current life. This journey, this is the 12 roses 3-month galactic journey. This is for starseeds, okay, that want to use their psychic gifts, improve their psychic gifts, work with the feminine energy, and basically find integration, embodiment, and total resolution for these 12 star systems, 12 roses, like the blue rose, the light blue rose, the pink rose, the black rose, and so on, which means retrieving gifts, healing challenges, overcoming trauma, finding the resolution, the memories that they need to be at peace. This is like a gift for the soul, and of course this will manifest in your outer life as well. And you can also improve different areas of your life. And one of the stars that we will work with is of course Eramatina. on Lyra. We will work with this healing of this inner original fall, original separation, and this is so important. And I made this video because I felt the message from Lyrans that some specific people are going to watch this video under this specific portal. Like some people that maybe are new in my channel are going to just see this video pop up because it's their moment to find resolution under this portal. Okay, so let me know in the comments if you are new, if you are someone that this is the first video that you are watching, and welcome back for everyone as well. I will leave the information for the Galactic journey on the description box. I will leave my email. You can write there if you have any questions. And let me know in the comments as well, how are you feeling these days, these portals? We were under the Sirius portal, Vega portal, Lyra portal, and when we are, I have been during all these months of war, I have been tracking the galactic portals, and you cannot make this up. Like, really, you cannot. Like, when there were the Orion portals, like, the situation was so, so, so bad. Like, we were again in this polarity, in these Orion wars. And now that there is the Lyran portals, also the situation is not really good. So, you cannot make this up. Even when there was the Columba portal, which is the dove, which is related with peace, for example, that was some of these peace things was signed up. Okay, so you cannot make this up. Portals, astrological portals, really affect us individually and as a collective. So if we are aware of them and we choose to consciously work with them, we can make a lot out of them. So remember to subscribe to this channel. I have a lot of new videos coming about starseeds, kundalini awakening, and the mysteries. And thank you so much for watching.